Alrighty. Are we I can't tell. I really can't tell. Oh, no, apparently we are. Hiya, and welcome to Dice Club, where we know exactly what we're doing, kind of, sort of. Today, we'll be doing something a little bit different, but first, some announcement type things. Crimson Sands' new campaign on Dice Club is on Tuesdays at, nope, I take that back, Saturdays at 8 a.m. I think Central Standard Time. I think that is like add 5 hours UTC. That's that time. It's also listed below on our time schedule bobber, as well as our Discord, which you can come to if you're looking to get into games, DM a game. We have stream games offline. So if you're interested in that, do get involved. We'll be happy to have you. And as always, the first rule of Dice Club, and the only rule really of Dice Club, is tell everyone about Dice Club. That being said, we're not exactly playing the game today of Toon. We'll be discussing the game mechanics and so forth and all the rest right after this little video.
Hiya, Jerry here, and today I'm talking about Toon the RPG. But what is Toon the RPG? Well, think of it as Whose Line Is It Anyway meets cartoons and combined into a tabletop role-playing game, and you get Toon. And you play Toon to have the funniest game possible. That is the
update to Firefox, but I never really paid attention to what was being
Right,
added.
we're back. Sorry, the OBS was being OBS and giving me issues, but I sorted it. Sorry that we had black for a bit. So today, Alex, Bruce, and myself will be discussing the little land which we have embarked upon, which is Toon, the RPG, which you can still find at stevejacksongames.com, the PDF for this, should you be interested in such things. That's how you get it. This is actually a physical copy. They don't really print the book anymore as such, but I'm one of these people who loves to own things like this, and I think this is actually a printed version from, I can't find the year on it, 1984 or 86. No, 91. 1991, I think, and it is in great condition. I will say that a lot of people in the community, or whoever this person was who originally owned this, was a very good hobbyist, role player, or
Item now.
probably kind of, yeah. But they really took care of their books. But I that seems to be a thing with a lot of people in the hobby. They really do take care of their books, So I imagine any copy that you do find, I mean, this I think was just very good condition, but it is better in my opinion than good condition. So, if you want to get books for stuff that's way out of print, usually they're gonna be all right in my experience. But anyway, talking Toon, the campaign, the wonderful little fuzzy system that we have been rolling around in, as such, has it been what y'all thought it was going to be?
I assumed it would be more like just generic weekly Saturday morning shenanigans, like
Our first
common
few
movies.
episodes were that way, but then Austin seemed to kind of want to explore the overarching campaign, because I hinted that I did have one, and he was like, I want to find out the things. So that's kind of what happened. I mean, I'm willing to just let y'all do things that have no relation to things. That's perfectly fine. I mean, Toon often is played that way, just as a one shot, but a persistent campaign, you do have to have some linear ties.
Yeah, which is strange because it's pretty much like I tell everyone it's like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but it'd be like Tom and Jerry had like a overextending arc, like, oh, this is the part where Tom finds a job to buy more mousetraps or something.
It's more like we're playing out the plot of multiple Tom and Jerry movies over the course of the campaign.
Oh yeah, they did have
Yeah.
movies, didn't they?
Yeah, I remember the Tom and Jerry movie, like, came out in the 90s. It had some pretty good, we're two of a kind or something, I forget, but because I'm a very musical person when it comes to songs and movies. But yeah, they did. There was Tom, and I think there's been a couple. One of them, there was like a genie, and I don't know. But yeah, I mean, and when you first made your characters and you said, I want to be a fire hydrant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I thought I was being original for half a minute, then I looked in the actual Toon handbook, and there was a slot for like, hey, here's an idea, try a fire hydrant.
Hey, you want to be a fire hydrant? You could shoot water. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I failed to mention when I created my character, and now I can only shoot like a pea-sized amount.
well, I mean, it depends. Like, if you do have a large water source, I'll let you do it. But generally, like in a car, you're not going to. Yeah. Well, that could be too. Actually, we might be able to make that a shtick.
Yeah, that's what I
that
originally
mechanic.
meant. But I was so confused when I was making my stats because I haven't done so many D&D games.
Yeah.
So yeah, all my stats are terrible. Absolutely
Stats
miserable.
don't really matter as much for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the thing. That is a thing. Is like, if it's something clever or interesting, usually I'll let you go ahead and do it. It's very permissive, in that respect. And Bruce, has your character, when you first came up with the swordfish that is Seamus, has he changed much since your original concept of him, or?
I thought he would be more of a thug and stealing, but had to really tone it down for the urban, fancy house lifestyle.
The fancy house. You weren't prepared
life
for
is the OG swordfish.
Yeah, I didn't think we would have a fancy house.
yeah. I thought it would be funny, and it kind of has been funny. I
Yeah,
mean,
so far.
I could have made it like y'all like Heathcliff and y'all live in a dump yard. Yeah, I could have done that. I mean, maybe Seamus would have been more in his element if I had done that.
Maybe.
Something to think about. So, what has been the most challenging thing? Because like you said that you hadn't played many RPGs.
Yeah.
And certainly Toon is very different from most RPGs, and that the point of Toon is to be funny and interesting, kind of different
I
motivations.
With Toon, I definitely am able to adapt a lot better than if we were like in a very serious situation. If it were like, okay, yeah, here's the dark elf, and you have to fight the dragon. Like, I don't know how to roleplay that kind of stuff because my personality is always, it's sometimes deadpan.
You don't have to be serious. You can be the sarcastic member of the party. Oh, hey, he's a dark elf.
Yeah, I think you can. But
usually they're the bards.
Yeah.
No, you could be a sarcastic barbarian.
It's like
you could be.
I could be sarcastic and comedic, but I guess I have the problem when you set something objective in front of me. I just want to be like, all right, this is how we do this. This is me putting all my might into this attack. He takes so many hit points damage, and so like, I guess I have trouble finding the proper moments to be humorous, and therefore I either come off as super bland or just out of character.
I will defeat you, a vile beast. Yeah.
If he dies,
Get wrecked, kid. Did I say that right? I said that right? Hiya!
So, and Bruce, you've played more types. Well, I know that you were a big Pathfinder player before Toon and stuff. So, like, what has Toon been a as far as like playing a character really dissimilar from how you would play characters normally in a RPG game like Pathfinder, or do you find that you still have the same play style, whether it be Toon or whatever?
I just do whatever I want.
Chaos. So you're just chaos.
Consequences later. Like,
oh my god.
Even if my character dies, like it's not a big deal. Like narratively, it's kind of a setback for everybody else, but
yeah, oh my gosh.
Dies, why is everybody making such a big deal about people dying? It happens. Especially in a world where everybody's going adventuring, slaying monsters, the mortality rate's got to be so freaking high.
I guess, but you come to, like the character in your party. You've been on yeah. It's kind of.
But at some point, their saga has to end. At some point, you can't have every character going on to survive everything, growing up to be a level.
I feel like most fantasy RPG characters have a better lifespan than people who lived in actual medieval ages.
Oh yeah. And in Toon, of course, you cannot die. That is the mechanic of Toon. So how does that really just...
That'd be cool if someone had like a side quest where you have to go to like the underworld and meet like the comical Grim Reaper.
Ooh, more. Let me write this down.
Right there. You will be meeting the Grim Reaper in approximately 27 seconds and counting.
Yeah. Let me just jot that down. The DM is
the Grim Reaper. Hey everybody, it's me. How you doing?
You mean Hades, basically.
The M-rated game Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh my. Yeah, or like Hades from Hercules.
Oh yeah, he's a great example too.
Okay. All right. So, in since your characters are always chaotic and you don't really care about death, then knowing that
Sometimes I play lawful characters. It's a bit tougher than the chaotic characters, but
you've played lawful before.
I played it before.
Shock and awe.
I
bet that was difficult.
I still kind of do what I want, just within like the limitations of whatever order or.
He's played the character, but he hasn't played the character.
Yeah, what is it? Oath of Vengeance or Oath Breaking Paladin or whatever, which just breaks my mind in half. But anyway, so knowing that you can't really die in Toon, does that mechanic at all affect? Do you find that even more freeing?
I mean, if I'm playing an RPG, I want to do as much cool stuff as I possibly can, or like really funny stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep doing zany things until something works and I have a cool story to tell.
That is very much in the spirit of Toon. I mean, I don't know of another system so freeing.
The only time we've actually taken HP damage was like in the pilot, I think, where Bruce with a baseball bat.
And yeah, and usually y'all do damage to each other. Y'all also took damage when y'all were in the car and some of you didn't have your seatbelts on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can happen in Toon. Y'all haven't like had to have any typical roll initiatives yet, which may be changing soon. Maybe. There are thoughts in my head, well, I guess that's good to know that there are thoughts in my head that there is actually a little hamster running around up here at work. But yeah, it is a very different animal when, as far as typical tabletop RPGs go. Toon is a very strange little entity because the point of Toon is not really to warhammer and to be statistical, and it really goes the other direction and to more creative problem solving, fast talking and bargaining and almost a million. Violence is kind of the last answer. Unless you do violence to yourself like Seamus does, and he usually does that accidentally. So, I mean, usually when y'all played, like, say, other RPGs, was diplomacy or other problem solving something that appealed to y'all in general? Because it does to me. I almost wanted to, actually fighting is like the last thing that I want to do as a player. It just doesn't appeal to me.
It gives me a lot of the ability to work with diplomacy a lot more than any other, many other game formats. I actually was thinking about, like, I have no idea if it exists or not, but I thought it'd be a really neat idea, probably very bland for everyone else, but interesting for me, if I could have like a Journey to the West style RPG where you pretty much have to make diplomacy through your entire campaign. I thought that'd be very interesting. But
what, like an Oregon Trail?
Huh?
Like Oregon Trail, or what do you mean?
Oh, Journey to the West is it's a classical Chinese story about a Buddhist monk who
right.
Dude, I want to.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's where the Monkey King comes from.
And like the fish. There's like a village, and there's like this. Anyway, we kind of.
They made a good movie about it with directed by Stephen Chow, who did. Kung Fu
I think I saw it.
Yeah, so that's actually probably my favorite movie, just ever.
Wait, so I guess
Toon gives me a lot of the diplomacy to flex and do stuff like that. So I'm both either willing to be very diplomatic. It's very split, either very diplomatic or, as many other campaigners call it, murder hobos. Like, yeah, you just go through and when you run into a problem, violence will probably solve the problem.
Yeah. Kill it with fire. Violence is the answer.
Other tabletop RPGs, problem solving's fun, but not so much diplomacy. It's just too straight laced, too straightforward. Most of the time, the DM tries to railroad you into making you appease whoever you're trying to work with, and
yeah,
it's super bland, and you're just like, okay, so we have to kiss the king's ass, and then we have to go do this fetch quest for him. After we do this fetch quest, we gotta find 99 eggshells and bring them back, and then craft this thing. We gotta do another fetch quest. Oh,
then you gotta go find another shrubbery.
Yeah, if we talk back to the king, he's just gonna straight up execute us. Okay, let's talk back to the king.
Yeah. So have you felt and you can be honest. You can be honest. I will say that this is my first campaign to run. Keep this in mind. First campaign to run. Have you felt too railroaded in Toon? It's okay. I'm serious.
I don't think we've really been railroaded at all. You've just been giving us stuff to do, and we kind of just randomly do it at our own pace.
No, I mean, yeah, it's a limited experience. I'm not just saying this to butter you up because I want to get more plot points, but no, it's been. I don't know exactly what it's like being a DM, but I can tell, like, yeah, when someone's being real and giving you, like, you don't want to. You want the player to have responsibility and kind of go their own way. So, like, when we say we want to go to Pittsburgh, you're like, I guess we're going to Pittsburgh.
I do. I mean, I'll present you with the thing, and then y'all can do whatever you want with that thing. If you want to spit in your neighbor's face, I guess you spit in your neighbor's face. If you want to send him a horrible gift basket, I guess you're sending him a horrible gift basket, and I have to decide how they feel about it. Y'all get to do whatever y'all are gonna do, and
on the spot character creation, as well as I rarely hear you say, like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't like to do that because I never liked being told no. I think that everyone should yes and as much as possible, and I think that goes for DMs too. DMs, yes and them. You might not like it, but it might turn out interesting. You never know. You just might end up in a museum on your way to Pittsburgh, or in the world's or Tunica's largest butter churn. Madness can happen and beauty can happen in the madness. So that's part of it. It's really an exercise. I think Toon is really an exercise of, probably for a DM, in just, here are my hands, just take your hands off and let players take the wheel. You don't have to be so controlling, and I like that. I actually, whenever y'all are talking to one another, and y'all, the few times that it's happened where y'all have just sort of forgot that I was in the room, and y'all are just like, what are we going to do? And that actually is very exciting. I like that. Just y'all do what you will, and I'll, react to y'all sometimes instead of y'all having to react to me. I think that that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just way more annoying to do it in a standard D&D or Pathfinder game, because most of the time the DM's just like, all right, you have some downtime, now talk. What?
That is always weird. I've never had that problem. At least whenever I'm in a game as a player, I've never had a DM need to do that.
Like, he just gives us like 10 minutes sitting on our asses around the campfire, and it's like, all right, talk it up, and we're just sitting there like, So I am a tree, and you're.
I am a treant.
I don't know what we're doing here. Yeah, so we're on this mission. Blah 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 blah. Some vague backstory. 5 minutes of silence.
Yeah, no DM has really ever had to do that with me, and I guess that's just my play style. Is I will interact with people even if they don't want it. I will try to interact with them. So usually that doesn't happen, and I usually, sometimes I will say, to either Raven and Austin. So y'all are sitting in the front seat. Do y'all have any thoughts or ideas about, what y'all want to do or whatever? Or sometimes I'll even say to you and Alex, if y'all are in proximity to do a thing together, talk about it. Go ahead.
You can't force people to converse, because otherwise the conversations are going to be bland, pointless, and barely in character.
Yeah.
Basically, all Mr. Hyde's interactions with Seamus are just either really angry or just like, huh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but I do want to know what his thoughts are. If I don't ever ask his thoughts, I might not never get to know them, and then that helps me kind of plan as a DM. It helps me formulate the personality, and
I'm definitely glad you give us the opportunity, because by my very nature, like if someone doesn't ask me, I'm like, oh, they don't want to know, so I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Oh no, I want to know all the things. Well, to a degree. Let me preface that, to a degree. Yeah. I might not want to know, your most, horrible moment in your life. I mean, let there be a little bit of mystery. But all things concerning Mr. Hyde, I definitely do want to to know. So given the chaotic nature that is, besides the house, besides being given luxurious headquarters and a vehicle, what are some of the other things that have happened in the game that have just kind of been like, seriously, you're letting us do this? You're letting us have this? What? Has there been anything besides that have kind of been like, well, if this was any other game, no DM would allow that?
Besides which one?
Besides, the house and the car, has there anything happened in the game that has kind of surprised you, that has been like, well, in any other kind of game system, no DM would let me do that or allow that to happen?
I think the closest thing to that I've had in mind is the free car repairs in Smurfville. Because I was assuming after the Hightider broke down, we would just go hitchhiking. Like, hey guys, let's head to Pittsburgh. Maybe Marty will be there.
Morty.
Oh jeez.
I figure the van is like another character. It kind of has to stay with us in order to facilitate function of the entire story. But
I don't know. It might be that the more you interface with the van, it might become a character. I don't know how things work in the Tooniverse. I kind of do, but
I think something you do that you wouldn't get away with in other games is the bag of many things. Every time. It has to be something on the fly, and it has to somewhat make sense, but really make nonsense.
That bag of many things is for every time that something could go the way y'all want it to, is a thing that it could go the way I want it to. So it kind of balances out in a way that I haven't had it break the game so far. I don't. I think
like when it brings a character in, it usually brings in like a very bite-sized comedy bit.
Usually, yeah, and that's my time to figure out. Oh, Tom was funny. That turkey.
Tom.
Turkey Tom, and y'all just stick him with the bill for a UFO taxi. I mean, And then y'all give me.
He never
Yeah.
circled back around to that because I don't know how I would have reacted if he would have came back and been like, "They say they want me to pay."
You might be end up in small claims court. And then, but then sometimes you give me interesting characters like I think what was his name? Mr. Floyd, the piranha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you looked concerned for like 2 seconds, like, oh yeah, yeah, Mr.
I was
Floyd.
scratching my ear. That wasn't concerned.
Yeah, okay, sure. I really like Mr. Floyd. I will say that right now as a DM. I love Mr. Floyd, and I think it would be a tragedy if I didn't do something further involving Mr. Floyd in the future, because he is precious.
Mr. Floyd somehow acquires a monopoly on all of the Toon vans in existence, and we just pay off our bills with the infinity dollar bill.
Oh no! It has to be something much better for than that for Mr. Floyd. You're not being generous enough.
Mr. Floyd's attempting to open a portal to the dark dimension and unleash the dark elves.
That's a little bit more in keeping with Mr. Floyd, the piranha that lives in a goldfish bowl, or piranha bowl, I guess, since it's his home, by your mother, you know. I mean, that's just too good. It's just too good. And his whole little.
There was confusing the piranha with the anglerfish, which lives in like the deep ocean.
Yeah, they live in very different. One's saltwater, one's a river creature.
Yeah, we had whatchamacallit.
Are they
we had anglerfishes. We had the anglerfish anglers pop up during the
for the
that one session.
I think that what happened was either that was like candles. The anglerfish light. Yeah, it was some anglerfish candles.
No fire hazard.
Right, that's right. That's very in keeping with what a fire hydrant. And I can respect that about Mr. Hyde, is that is one thing that you kind of have always sort of, even from the beginning initially, he's always been very fire conscious and kind of safety conscious.
Yeah, in the very beginning, Mr. Hyde was kind of I thought of him like J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, with the handlebar mustache and the it was like just very short and direct, and like nothing's ever good enough for him. And
it's so sad.
But yeah, as the story went on, like it would have been a little too plastic to have him just that way. So like now he has definitely a very soft side that he tries to keep hidden from other people, but his exterior is kind of like, oh, I'm just worried about safety, I'm just worried about this, and we better save that fluffy kitten, because if we didn't, that would be against safety rules.
Really, there's no law in the universe saying that you have to, but you just want to rescue that kitten because it's a kitten and it's cute. But yeah, it's all about safety, priority number one. And really, because of how, and just not really thinking about that, I feel I should give you a plot point for your consistent portrayal of Mr. Hyde. Really, you've been very consistent from that, now that I think about it in retrospect.
Plot points do?
Plot points, you can add them. Oh, you get to talk a little bit about the mechanic. You add them to your sub skills, so you can pick a sub skill to up by a point.
Oh, okay.
So like your dodge or whatever, you just raise it by.
Oh, okay. So one. I can help undo the very much damage I've done to my skill points when I started my character.
Yeah. Pick one and spend your plot point on that. So, is there one particular, like, if I guess for you, Bruce, I mean, are you completely happy with your shtick? I asked this because I think I know the answer, but are you really happy with the bag of eternal things?
Yeah. The bag is fun. The shape-shifting one's slightly less fun because it's more situational. But the bag just keeps adding new elements to whatever's happening.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It
Doesn't matter
is.
if I fail, something's cool's gonna come out. Got dehydrated water. Yeah.
Dehydrated water. What is that? I don't know. It's water that's, I guess, isn't very hydrating. I
think this is the first time that the bag of holding has led to a bigger plot point. If this is a plot point, our next episode with the horse. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm not sure how far or endemic that small arc will be, but
oh, I've been thinking. I
can see the little hamster in your head.
Yes.
Singing
yes.
925.
Yeah, no. This might be a two-parter thing, depending on how y'all handle it. That's what I'll say on that. There's so much. I mean, they're ponies, and they're all about friendship.
Because friendship is magic.
It is. It is. I will preface. I will tell you some of the pony names that have come up. Twilight Glitter, Flutterby.
Seems a bit derivative.
Apple Blossom, Rarely, Rainbow Clash, Pinky Prize, Nene, Cloppington, and Hoofsalot. And should anyone feel the need to give me more NPC names, I will probably take them and use them.
Yo, what about Lil Nay?
Lil Nay, he wants to be a rapper.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Lil Nay here on the track. I'm just doing my thing, milling the land, preparing for the next harvest.
Lil Nay be Nene's little brother or something. Okay, all right. See, I am so freaking permissive. I'm just like, okay, we'll make a story together. I guess that's just me as a person. I would rather create cooperatively than control it. That just seems like a whole lot of work to really want to control the narrative. In my opinion, you might as well just write a novel then, so that everything and that everyone does exactly as you want. To me, as a DM, you have to just sort of relinquish that y'all probably won't do A, B, or C. Y'all will probably do N or
Sigma.
Q or yeah, beta or something. Y'all probably do option 38, whatever that is, and
option 38.
And I think that Toon is a good vehicle for maybe if as a DM you want to try relinquishing, as hard as that may be. Toon is probably a good vehicle to try that out and see that good things can still come of story. If you don't plan every little contingency.
In the next episode of Toon, we're going to become a team for nuclear disarmament.
Yay.
Huh. Really?
Because magic is really uranium.
Is really uranium. Magic is really toxic. Magic is a thing you find at Hogwarts. So is besides going to Pittsburgh and well, you're kind of about to meet all the horses and you're still looking for the Fountain of Youth. Is there anything that you think, well, that couldn't possibly happen because it could.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
forget.
what?
We have Teddy the Toaster looking for the Bread of the Ancients.
Yes,
I'm looking for the Fountain of Youth.
yeah. Seamus wants to pull off a bank heist or something in the Mojave Desert. That's very specific. And he also wants to go on a date with Olga the Orca. He has two dreams. And then I don't exactly remember what Arnold's is. I think his is to raise awareness for the things that are happening in the Arctic.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
he's very concerned about his homeland. He's very
You
very
call
much a social warrior, which is interesting because he first started off being very nervous and kind of a shy character, a little bit like Morty.
Yeah, he was super timid, like he was afraid to answer the phone. And
Yeah, but now he's just
now
like,
he's, like,
what do
getting in
you
people's face,
mean?
like, you need to not disrespect the Arctic.
it's the clown fiasco.
I
Yeah,
think
after that, he
so.
did.
I think him dressing up as a clown or something really snapped something within his little penguin soul. Who would have known? Who would have known that, clowns could cause chaos? I guess the movie It is all about that, kind of, sort of. Good
Clowns
movie.
bring color to an otherwise black and white penguin world.
Well, no, I think that he just kind of
Literally.
I don't know. I guess he just after he just found sort of like an angst. Arnold just became a little bit angsty. Like, what do you mean our van is offensive? What do you mean penguins don't, what is it? Did he say waddle or, I forget. However penguins move, he's like, I don't do that, I do this. He just became very sort of angsty, which is kind of interesting, but his character has kind of really shifted, and I wish that he had been here today to ask him all about that. But who out of your fellow Toons characters do you think that you get along with the most in character?
In character, I definitely get along most with probably Teddy, because he's also
Sentient
human
object?
animated, sentient appliance, kind of.
Yeah.
He's not like just a talking swordfish, which is cool in its own right, but it's,
not just like a talking swordfish, those biological beings.
If you heard on the news, like, miracle of science, there's a talking swordfish, you'd be like, okay. If you hear miracle of science, there's a talking fire hydrant, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I've been having one too many of this or that non-PG rated thing.
Okay. As you cuddle your fire extinguisher teddy bear.
You're a little crazy up there.
Yeah. Who would you say is your buddy in character, Bruce?
It's gotta be Arnold. Arnold and Seamus, they're like perfect foils for each other.
Are they?
Yeah. Arnold's actually somewhat intelligent and acts more like a straight man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that
And he's short and inflexible despite his stretching ability.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot about that. That is his shtick. He has the stretchy stick.
And he refuses to use it because he doesn't have that many moments when he used it like once or twice.
He used it on Mr. Hyde, like to kind of stretch you out for the hole a little bit.
That.
Yeah, then Seamus is just overall unintelligent, impulsive, kind of just does whatever he wants, goes with the flow. He's very tall.
Yeah, and I'd say, now that you do say that he's a foil, like, thinking about it, Arnold, he's very timid. In that sense, he's the opposite of Seamus. but in some ways, Seamus is more go with the flow, and Arnold can be a little obstinate despite his like shyness.
Yeah, yeah.
That is an interesting dynamic now that you mention it.
Like
Yeah,
the clown gag was a perfect example of it. Seamus just like, all right, you can be the clown, and Arnold's like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna be the clown. Arnold comes back with a clown suit, and Seamus just
doesn't
picks him up
realize
like,
that's
oh, hey,
Arnold.
have you seen Penguin around? You know, it's like, hey, yeah, hi, his name is Arnold. Doesn't even
Arnold's
recognize
like,
Arnold. Brings him back to the house, and then after the party goes back to pick up Arnold, who's not there.
yeah, because he's in his room taking off his clown makeup. He's just like, yeah, that was super hilarious. The whole your mom's birthday thing was pretty funny. Pat myself on the back for coming up with that episode. Yay for me. That one was really funny. And the Moose family living in the backyard, you know, they're back there.
Have we established any motive for not motive, but like goal, far-reaching goal for I can't remember the fox.
Oh, yeah.
Sad to be as southern as he possibly can, and start with the drawl that is extremely hypnotizing to the senses. You will have absolutely no idea
what he's saying.
But somehow you will be lulled into a deep.
Now, I can share this with you. His natural enemies are bears or hunters. I don't know why bears, but yeah, that's interesting to know. His belief is a job should be done well or not at all. His goals is to save or help the helpless. His flaw, because it'd be like a goal and fun, I can't resist a good poker game. So he's kind of got a gambling. His deal is sort of gambling.
He's a
which hasn't really
Robin Hood.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. He's got the hat and the shirt and the bit of straw.
Brainstorm. So he can have a poker tournament at the bank in the Mojave Desert, and that's where the heist will take place.
Perhaps that would be a good one. That's interesting because I had never really seen that on his sheet before. But yeah.
Thought about because he wasn't with where we did our regular character.
Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting. Natural enemies are bears and or hunters. Interesting. Bears. So I guess he would have been like, yeah, cook the drowned Smokey or something, because that was a bear. He would have been like, yes, we will eat of the bear's flesh of my enemies. I don't know. Except he would have said it southernly. It's like, give me a haunch of that bear over there. But anyway, so yeah, that's Red, and hopefully Brandon will play a bit more when Raven is absent with his moving ordeal. You know, but do you have any thoughts, epiphanies on Toon, the system, or the campaign so far, or anything like that?
I'd say I'm really enjoying all the characters we have and the dynamic that we all have. We kind of do fit each other. Like we're all kind of each other's foils in one way or the other.
Kind of.
All that being said, yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, if we make a next character, like, yeah, what would it look like, and what can I do that's different from this time that would be on the next time?
True.
So I've been brainstorming about that, but
your character can't die, but you're still planning another character.
That's why I say I love Mr. Hyde. I love our current setup. At the same time, you also want to try everything else.
All right. Okay. All right. Thoughts, epiphanies, quandaries, Bruce? on all things Toon.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I mean, it's not Pathfinder, but it's fun.
It's not Pathfinder, but it is fun. I guess that is high praise for, a system that is very dissimilar. It's like, who would have thought a RPG game that doesn't involve necessarily rolling initiative or doing the general things could be entertaining or enjoyable to play again weekly instead of it just being a one-shot kind of thing, which a lot of the times if people do play Toon, usually it is just as a one-shot. But with enough creative forethought and people with the right attitude, it can work as a persistent campaign, which I didn't know when I first came up with it. I kind of did wonder, could this work? People usually don't do it as a persistent campaign.
When I first auditioned for Toon,
yeah,
I had no idea that it was going to be a D&D campaign or like weekly. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was going to be like a one-time, okay, here are your lines, you read them. Okay.
No. It was. I was looking for people who would enjoy doing improv because that is what
I'm
RPG games are.
I must have missed the memo or something because I was like,
a lot of people.
I literally just saw think and horror improv. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I just think that RPGs are a good well, basically they utilize all the skills that we use, say in acting, specifically if we're doing improv. But I wanted people who enjoyed actually being characters, because a lot of times people who play tabletop RPG games, they're wanting to do the numbers. They want to do the damage, and not so much interacting or creating story. And so I wanted a
math is boring.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think I'll have that put on my tombstone. Math is boring.
Oh no, I like smashing monsters as much as the next guy, but combining that with the role-playing aspect is really important for the tabletop.
And I wanted people who wanted to be characters, and so I was like, well, what is a good system that really relies on that? Toon. And lo and behold, there was Toon. I had thought about games like Puppet Land. I had thought about Pugmire. But I just felt that Toon had a lot of potential. Pugmire? Ooh, Pugmire. We might actually get a Pugmire game going. Basically, it is an RPG, but you play dogs, and it's in a post-apocalyptic world. Mankind is gone, but dogs and cats still remain. And I think there's like the Church of Man, and one of the rules in the game is to fetch what man hath lost or something like that. And so you're like looking for relics of man or something like that. But basically you play a dog, and it's kind of D&D with dogs. But yeah, it is. And I thought, well, that would be interesting. Speaking of interesting, we're wrapping up here. We're also looking to possibly do a wrestling game. Worldwide Wrestling is the, I believe, the name of the RPG, and it'll be a streamed game for Saturdays in place of 10 Candles, the horror game. We're looking, if anybody is interested in that, we're looking for individuals to do that. Basically, I'll be playing a sort of Stephanie McMahon. I have to practice my "you're fired" and like scrunching my nose up like she does. because that's a thing that she does. I mean, I know a little bit too much about wrestling for reasons. For reasons. But yeah, that is an RPG game that we're vetting if there's interest for that. So we are looking to see if that is viable. We may start in June a Pugmire game, and as well as a upcoming, I guess I'll just say it, a Star Wars game. Yes. And I have a very that one I want to be a player in. That one I am a player in. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Midichlorians
down
everywhere.
Copyright
I'm told that it will be during the Clone Wars. It will take place during the Clone Wars, I believe.
Clone Wars are fun.
They're all alike, though. I had to say that. They're so alike, though. They're very cookie cutter. But isn't that the point? So a few things that we're kind of working on. I mean, as far as we'll have D&D games, but really Dice Club is about the obscure and the different, which is why Toon is what it is, and why I kind of enjoy it so much. I played in some very dark, epic D&D, because usually when I play D&D, I want to go into epic levels. I want to take the character into epic things, but that led to
forever unless you actually start at a high level.
Oh no. Topsy was level 7.
That's not that high.
Nope, and I took her to level 27.
Within how long? Like what time span?
That was a persisting game for nearly 2 years.
Oh well, that actually makes sense then.
Yeah. Which is a fun experience when you can, rely on people to show up and all that. That's a very rewarding experience. But I wanted to do something a bit different than the big dark campaign. So lo and behold, Toon. Like a light. Thank you, Mr. Greg Custin. I can say this name. I know I can say this name. Kostikian, and Warren Spector. That one's easier to say. And of course, Stephen Jackson Games for publishing said game. But thank you to the two guys who sat down and created it in the 80s. We have a lot of fun with it, and if you're interested in it, you can still get the PDF on it from Stephen Jackson Games, which I do highly recommend, and to share it with as many individuals as you possibly can. For playing a Toon for a couple of hours is, well, how is it, guys?
It's a load of fun, but imaginatively a little exhausting.
Imaginatively, you'd rather just read the lines.
No, you don't have to
think how you get a good workout.
Just keep ad-libbing until some cool stuff happens.
Pretty much.
That's your philosophy, isn't it, Bruce? Keep ad-libbing until something interesting happens.
Hey, we got a piranha. We got a bunch of stuff in the bag. We got the indestructible the music thing, the indestructible record player.
Oh, that's right. Y'all do have that.
We got a moose
back at the house. Met a moose family.
Got a moose family. We got a rhino just sitting in our living room.
Oh yeah, he is still in your living room. He'll come back. He'll be like watching the TV, eating potato chips. I forgot about that.
Very specific, excessively descriptive, excessively detailed descriptions of the houses of our neighbors.
Yes. Oh yes, your other neighbors too. haven't addressed that yet. See,
yeah, we got options.
Yes, there's a and the walruses with the yacht.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those guys. The messiahs of plumbing. Or saviors of plumbing. It's one of the interesting things happen when you play
Messiahs of
Toon.
plumbing. They're just called mop.
Mop. MOP messiahs of Oh my god. We're not even playing the game, and I think I have to give you a point for that.
Woo!
I endorse that notion.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that is pretty.
Oh, we're the messiahs of plumbing. We've rebranded as mop because it's easier
Yeah,
to say.
MOP. MOP for short. You know, we mop up the mess. Anyway, so as always, we are Community Days Club. You can join us. We're on Twitter. We put back up our episodes. If it isn't on Twitch, then it is on our YouTube. Link to the YouTube is below, as well as a link to our Discord where you can see what games we have going on and off stream. If there's something that appeals to you, we are always looking for DMs and players. If you're an actor or a hobbyist actor and you would like to join us, we would be very happy to have you, as I think that we all kind of have a little bit of a performance bug in some way or another, and or even if you're, we have many disciplines. You created a little emoji this past week, didn't you, Alex?
Yeah. I created one. The previous week I had created one for my other friend who has a channel. And I figure since we reached affiliate and we have one subscriber now. Right?
Oh yeah, Helix Horizon. Hi.
Special thanks to them. Yeah,
Hi.
I thought it'd be, even if you guys decide not to accept it,
No, we will accept this wonderful emoji of a person trying to decide whether or not they want to see what the dice have, It's really funny. It's this emoji of this person like looking at, just over the table to see what the result of their roll is. We've all been there where we don't really want to know what the outcome is because we haven't failed yet if we don't know the result. And we have succeeded potentially if we don't know the result. That's what that emoji like makes me think of. It speaks to me actually on many levels. But yeah, we have people who are into creating music, the visual arts, like drawing and things like that. Musician, actors of, either stage or voice. We're a very diverse group. Some of us in like musical theater at Raven's done, I think he's done some original musicals that he helped put together and stuff. So we're a diverse lot, and have a wide range of disciplines, and in general we just like be kind of nerds together. So if you can come in and be a nerd with us. Why am I shrinking from that word? It is what it is. So as always, thank you. I hope that maybe you've learned something kind of a little bit about Toon and the campaign and kind of the nature of the animal that is Toon, and kind of our experiences that we've had with it so far, which have been bizarre and interesting. To be fair, that I think that's a good way of summing up our campaign. Kind of bizarre and interesting. In-house, outhouse, in-houses, they happen. And as always, do join us if you feel the slight urge. You know, do as your heart dictates. Join us. Your heart is saying, join us, join us, join us. And as always, we didn't really have an episode in the usual sense, but we tried our best to keep it interesting and, you know, keep it snappy, because we think we surmise that you like it best that way. And if it made you happy, well then we'll see you again next Tuesday. Take care.
Bye.